Hi, this is Chris Wong here with another workout video. So for today's session, I decided to focus more on the posterior muscles. So I decided to do 2 sets of 50 reps band face pulls. Now I decided to do with a little bit more intensity, and that's why I have my foot on the power rack, so I don't have the band pull me forward. And I didn't realize that I actually didn't fully externally rotate my hands backward in line with the elbows. But how I felt during the workout was my rear deltoids was getting a great workout, and my shoulders started to feel better, like I could do more with less pain. Now I actually set the band at that height because when I put the band anchor point a bit lower on the power rack, it actually was hurting my shoulder, so I set it much higher, and I was pain free. So there's no one size fits all for exercise choices or the angles of the exercises, and whether to do full body split routine, 1 exercise a day, or any other type of programs. Now I'd like to try out different approaches, and for the last week I started doing 1 lift a day, or try to minimize a variety of exercises, and it does have its pros and cons. Like even last week I found out I could actually work out with just that 1 exercise, and I wouldn't feel like I have a strict deadline to try to move on to the next exercise and try to get the workout in and finish the full body. I also have more time to warm up for a certain exercise. So like when I was doing 1 exercise a day last week, for some days, I was able to start off with even lighter weight and then gradually increase the weight even slower. And even I took my time in between sets just to feel more relaxed. I even didn't think about what I have to do next after I got to the max weight for that session. But I do find that it does have its disadvantages too. Like compared to full body, there's no full metabolic intensity for 1 exercise a day compared to full body, unless the 1 exercise a day is only going to be like deadlifts and squats. And even like increasing strength in deadlifts or squats, generally your upper body exercise will go up faster, and the carryover is much greater to outside the gym activities. But I did find, like from experience, just because my deadlifts went up or my squats went up, it doesn't mean like I can automatically lift more weight on overhead press or the bench press. It's just the potential to increase them would be higher than without training the squats or deadlifts. But for other people, it could be because if they train the upper body only, that their upper body strength goes up faster because of their focus. So that's what I mean by there's no one size fits all approach. I'm actually considering going back to doing more of a full body, and maybe some days I may just do 1 exercise a day, just depending on how much time I give myself, how I feel for the day to work out, and if I feel like certain muscles are lagging. When I did full body exercises a day, I found like myself getting leaner easily. Like I also I found that my muscles were more defined compared to like doing a split routine. I also find that if I end up skipping workouts, I feel like I'm more balanced in terms of muscle development. So if I was doing a split routine and I end up missing a workout, or if I end up doing 1 exercise a day and there was too much focus on certain muscles, it feels odd and sometimes imbalanced if I miss a workout and went off the schedule a bit. So if I was so focused on doing Penley rows or any type of rowing variation, it's mostly upper back, and there is a little bit of legs depending on if I'm doing it with cheat form and how much hamstrings got activated during the bent over position. But then there's still leg development in the exercise, but then it's not as much compared to like squats and deadlifts. But it also depends on how much cheat form I'm using. So even today's workout, I based it on how I felt for the day, and I didn't feel like doing high rep squats for a day as I did it last week, and I would feel like my glutes are less activated compared to like band hip thrusts. Like even I feel like my knees could use a rest from squats, so that's why I moved more towards band hip thrusts and decided to use a similar approach. Work towards high reps, but I know right now as I'm talking, I'm doing it over the hip flexor curls with heavy dumbbells, and I just did it just to balance out the glute strength. I even tried to go up to 80 pounds per side, whether it was good form or not, just to get my mind used to doing it, get the body know what it feels like. Since the muscles are trying to work out, like I've heard the expression, there's no such thing as too much glute work, or there's no overtraining of the glutes, because they are an underused muscle for majority of people these days. But even I think glute strength will still have its limit from the or limit to develop more if the hip flexor strength doesn't go up. So part of my own type of training is to get used to different scenarios. Going back to the days where I was actually doing like warehousing and actually coming out of different situations, or even when I help move equipment into someone's house, it's different scenarios, different stairs, different house, different location, different climate, even like different tight space, different types of equipment. Like a lot of things change, and there's no perfect scenario all the time. Like I've even seen situations where delivering or moving like a really heavy treadmill into a really tight basement that's very narrow, and it's for like a very small bungalow, and the basement was only like 6'3", and the stairs was like very tight turns. So that's something to think about in my own training, that there's no perfect programming. It's one of the reasons why I never seem to try to stick to the same exercise routine all the time. And learning from that experience is I find in order to reduce injuries, sometimes I have to change variations either on the spot or think of something before the training starts. And one thing I did differently for this workout is I tried to work up towards the heaviest band hip thrusts I have, with all the bands that were available in the basement. And even if, as I talked about in previous videos, about sometimes you have to fail in order to make progress, or even fail to find out if you can still do the lift. going back to uh, days of trying to bring in equipment to someone's house. Like, even when I first started, I didn't know if I could have done it. And whether it's successful or not, the only way I can figure out if I can actually get it done was to actually do it. And I would say, like, even the other person or team you work with to help get it in, is they have to actually believe in you in order to get it done. So as I'm working myself up, trying to fit band hip thrust in, it was kind of a mixture of one exercise approach, but then I also was trying to put other exercises into the workout as I may go back to more full body approaches, just to keep everything almost in balance and for a better metabolic effect. I tried doing, when I was trying to do band hip thrust to the maximum weight or maximum band tension I have, I may not have got everything up, but just getting my mind used to it in order to get the feel for it. Even if I can never get it all the way to the top at all, even if it's 100 sessions doing it, it's just my mind getting used to it is what can tell me what can I do from that point on if I want to get there. If I never attempted it, then what would I accomplish if I just try to be too cautious and aim for high reps with less weight? I mean, that is the approach most trainers take, and I do take that approach many times. If something feels too heavy or something feels like you can't do it in good form on the first try, then most people would just go lighter, try to do more reps. I've done that before, and I find that if I don't try again, I don't seem to get better at it, because I need to be able to measure my progress to see how it feels like after trying again. So training and failing lifts, or training and knowing your form is not good, we can actually learn from it. We can learn that where your strengths and weaknesses are, and you can learn how to work up from it. And even when I got to the heaviest band tension on my hip thrust, like, my glutes were still working really hard. Like, I find, even though I was trying to really activate the glutes as hard as I could at the top, like, it was really waking up the glutes, that when I actually took the tension off for the later exercise, it felt easier. It's like any other exercise I've done before. Like, even the workout I did in the previous session, I purposely exposed myself to hold the top of 335 pounds on the front rack iso hold. And I had a feeling if I actually brought the weight back down to do, like, decent form, it would feel a little bit lighter, because I've been exposed to the heavier weights. And if I even try to do the weight and purposely fail, like for the full rep, I know it's risky, and can increase chance of injuries. But I can also learn from failing certain weights. Well, that's why approaches change all the time. I'm trying to learn more about myself what works well, what doesn't work. I do know, like, even from my own experience, if I just always train for 1 rep all the time, I would admit, it is easy to hit a plateau. And there's times I've hit plateaus multiple times. I've failed weights like many times. I mean, there was times I gave up on it and didn't attempt them again. And even when I went lighter weight for a long time, I went back to it gradually, and I still couldn't do it because it's different energy systems. Training for 1 rep is different than training for 6 reps. But I know for some people, when your 6 rep max goes up, generally your 1 rep max will go up too. But it doesn't go up like automatically right away. Like if your 6 rep max is like 300 pounds on this exercise, and your 1 rep max before attempting 6 rep maxes happened to be like 375 pounds, just bring your 6 rep max up to 315 doesn't automatically mean your 1 rep max is going to be 385 pounds, because it's different. The weight feels different. Now the potential for 1 rep max might go up, or the 6 rep max will go up, vice versa, depending on what you're used to training. I was also thinking about like nervous system wear and tear. Some people can handle training 1 rep maxes every day, and some people can't. I decided to experiment with going heaviest weight I could for the band hip thrust, and then just bring the weight down. And when I did the orange band, the blue band, it felt a lot easier after attempting those really heavy ones compared to like when I was warming up. And I was doing 50 reps just to see what it would feel like, if I get any benefits from it compared to like doing 50 rep squats. And just to take a break from squats and try to benefit the hips and the knees better. And I decided to finish the workout with behind the neck press, and I just decided to do like 20 or 25 reps slowly. And overhead press is one of my weakest exercises. But I also tried a different approach. I try to bring the bar down below my upper traps just for the stretch. And then I'm using hanging band technique because of my height and the basement height. I don't want the place to hit the ceiling. Plus, I also get a more challenge with using the stabilizing muscles, which will benefit overall shoulder health.